What is up, everybody? Mr. Hamilton. Welcome back to the couch. We're here to talk about none other than the most talked about animated show that's going on right now. So, you guys get comfortable, pull up a chair, get seated, and let's get to another review on the couch. Invincible. Great show. Amazing show. Loved it from start to the end. Do not listen to what IGN has to tell you. IGN, I don't even think they watch anything or play games because their reviews are trash. What's good about it? Okay, so I'm going to try to do this with as least spoilers, but there probably will be. So before we get into that, make sure you guys, if you haven't seen it, find another video that's right for you. If you've seen it, let's go ahead and dive into it. Before we do that, as you can see, the subscribe number has changed. 88 subscribers. Thank you guys. 12 away from 100, so make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Now that's all out the way, Invincible. It breathes kind of a fresh, gory air into the superhero the whole superhero thing, right, that's going on right now. It reminds me of like the DC animated shows and all that stuff. And, like when it comes to superheroes, nothing new is under the sun. So when you do watch it, you'll see like your usual superhero tropes, the characters and stuff. Like they're not everybody in it is original. You'll see character ripoffs from like The Flash and like having things like Guardians and like Avenger type, groups and stuff like that. But pretty much it's a world where superheroes and villains exist and, people dealing with them and stuff like that. And so what I like about it is that it's very real. You go along and you're like, oh, this is a cool story. And at the very end of the first episode, it just wham hits you and you're like, oh, we're here, we're doing it. It goes very gory and very, very violent. And the thing about it is like you got to think about it, if you were really doing a superhero thing, like it would be very violent. Like the fact that these people have these superpowers, it would be a very violent thing. But it does kind of go different places. It explores like a whole father and son, a son getting his powers, and the father being like, okay, let's train you this and that. The son has these big shoes to fill. He's like, I want to be like my dad, because his dad is like, legendary status superhero, and so his son wants to be just like him. So so he's very much trying to figure that out, trying to find himself. He's still in school, dealing with things like that. And then, in the superhero world, it's just things are, you have all these villains and creatures and stuff that come to attack from other worlds and planets and stuff like that. And the whole thing about like the violence, it's not necessarily unnecessary. That sounds like an oxymoron, because it does show the human casualties of what it would be like to live in a superhero world. Like, people are getting ran over, people are getting, hit with debris and buildings and cars and, stuff like that. Like in like Marvel, you don't really see that. A couple of people hurt here and there, but people are losing limbs, getting splattered on walls. It's crazy. The cast is amazing. They have J.K. Simmons, Stephen Yeun, Sandra Oh, Seth Rogen makes an appearance a few times, not as himself, obviously, but, but then like character development, there's characters where you're like, oh, that person's a bad guy. And then as the story goes on, you're like, well, I'm not sure. And then the opposite happens. Like, this guy is good. Is he bad? This and that. So it kind of does keep you, there's a few episodes that are cliffhangers, man, that leave you like, oh shit, is that what? And that's kind of how the last episode really just puts you in a very crazy state of mind when this whole thing between two people reaches this climax of craziness. It's the son's characters developing into what he wants to be as a superhero, but clashing with an unmovable force, and he has to make that choice. Do I do it or do I not do it? And that's kind of what happens. The animation's clean. It's not like anything we haven't seen. Like I said, it reminds me of those old school Marvel and DC animations. Very colorful, very bright. The music's good. They explore a lot of things in it, though. They explore a lot of like racial things. Not heavily. I wouldn't say heavily, but they touch on things here and there. They touch on people who have superpowers, and they're expected to do certain things, but if you have, it's like this, okay? If you have superpowers, you're expected to use them for good. But what about if you're in a place where your family's in need and this and that, and you have the means with these powers to maybe do some things that are kind of against the law, but you're gonna see your family eat. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of, they kind of like go through things like that. But like, there's the character development is very well. Like, everybody has good character development, even the side characters. Whether you like some of them or if you hate some of them, cough, cough, Amber, cough, cough. But there's something for everybody. I definitely won't recommend it for kids, because when the gore and the violence happens, it's over the top, man. It really is. But it's not constant. That's why I will say not every fight is blood and guts and arms flying all over the place. But when they do give it to you, it's like, oh man, they really went there. There's some times where even I'm like, whoa, that's hardcore, man. That's hardcore. But like I said, it's a very good show. I can't wait for season 2. Robert Kirkman is a genius, the guy who helped with The Walking Dead. I think creator of The Walking Dead, actually. Great show. I give it 9 out of 10. I will give it 9 out of 10. Is there things that I didn't like? There's a couple episodes that get a little slow, filler episodes. There's some things where it's kind of like, all right, let's hurry the story along. We know where it's going. Or there's sometimes it'll kind of like veer off over here, and you're like, okay, well, can we get back on track to the main story type situation? I mean, it's only 8 episodes. 8 episodes. So, you feel like you can get it done. And they do get it done in those 8 episodes. I like how the story I like how like in every episode, when he like somebody mentions the word Invincible, and then like the whole title screen pops up, and like as the story progresses, as it gets more deep, more blood kind of like layers the title screen until it looks totally different. Which is really cool. Like I said, I'm not trying to really give too many spoilers away, so that's why I'm not really talking about, every little hidden detail about what's going on. What I will, there's things in there that make you laugh, that'll make you question, that'll make you be like, but it, like I said, it gives a very good uniqueness to this whole superhero thing. Because like the whole superhero time thing is like, it's saturated. It's very, very saturated between Marvel and DC and everybody doing something that's to do with superheroes. So for it to be animated, that kind of breathes of fresh air for the storytelling, for the violence and everything like that you don't really get in animated stuff like that. It really... That's what makes it fresh. That's what makes it good. That's what makes it watchable. Because if it was something else that wasn't that, I definitely wouldn't see this show making it. But because of how creative it is and how it really brings a new light to the whole superhero trope and everything like that, and while also using superhero tropes that we've seen before, like, you know what I mean? There's things that you can't get away from when you're doing these type of stories, and it embraces it, doesn't shy away from it, but it does make sure that like, hey, we're here doing something different, but you're still gonna get, the superhero things that you're used to, that to be in these stories, and that's really cool about it. So, like I said, 9 out of 10 for me for Invincible. I love it. Can't wait for season 2. which will probably be out in a year because Amazon has so much other stuff coming. So yeah, that's my review. You guys let me know in the comments, what was your favorite part? What was your favorite episode? Who's your favorite character? And if you can't wait for number 2 to come for number 2, shout out to my boy Key. He's the one who told me that you need to watch this show because I saw it on my Amazon Prime. I was like, whatever, it's just an animated superhero show. And he was like, nah, you need to watch this. And I finished it before him because that's how good it was. So yeah, once again, you guys, thank you guys for joining me on the couch. Make sure you guys hit the like, share button, and leave me a comment telling me how you guys like the new, just tell me what you like and what you don't. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button if you guys are new here. Thank you guys so much. Road to 100, we're almost there. Love you guys so much. Thank you guys for joining me on the couch. I'm Mr. Hamilton. Peace.